Why spending 6 months thinking about your niche is fucking stupid. That's the episode, or today's episode, of the How to Make Money as a Creator podcast. If you don't know who I am, my name is Matthew Lakajev. I run a program called Seven Figure Creators where we help creators make six figures, majority on LinkedIn right now. This one is inspired by quite a few conversations that I've been having lately and a sales call that I just got off from someone. So I'm kind of answering that as this being the objection. Why spending 6 months working out your niche is fucking stupid. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use examples for this, or actual stories about people in our program who have used the strategies I've told them to versus other people who have spent 6 months thinking about their niche who've got fucking nowhere. The problem is when people think about their niche, right, is you're thinking about your niche and you're sitting there and you're stewing. You've only got 1% of the data available. So it's as if you've gone to go to an exam at school, right? And all you've done is someone's only given you 1% of the textbook, and then you have to complete the exam. You don't have access for the whole year for the other 99%. That's what thinking about your niche does. Now, how do you get access to the rest of the textbook, the other 99%, so you can study, so you can have a higher percentage chance of winning? You do that by working with people and talking to people. I know, talk to people. Fuck. The way that you define your niche, the niche that you start with and that you think you're going to be doing, is never the niche that you will end up doing. When you pursue in business, you have an inkling of a thought or a problem that you want to solve, what you think you want to solve. But that's just your thoughts. But after you start having conversations with people and you tell them, hey, I think you need to solve this problem, what happens then is, it starts unlocking the other percentage of the textbook. So you might start conversations for a week talking to who your potential prospects you think might be, and you ask them about their problems, and they're going to tell you things that you had no fucking idea about because you didn't have access to the other 99% of the textbook. So what's going to happen is through these conversations, you're going to unlock then 10% of the textbook. And then that way, if you then go to do the exam, and the exam in this instance is launch and start your business, you're going to have a much better chance. But you're still going to have fuck all chance because you only have access to 10% of the textbook. One of our clients, Robert, was in this very similar situation. He was spent years and years in revenue operations and functions helping build sales teams. And he thought he wanted to leave his job because he wanted to, have some more freedom because he's got a family and kids and it changes things. Perfect. I completely understand it. But when he was getting into it, he spent a couple of months thinking about what he wanted to do, right? And when I told him when he first started, I was like, dude, just launch something, sell something and start working with people, even if it's for free. Because I promise you, what you think they need is going to change. It's going to be completely different to what your thoughts are. So Robert joined the program. He ran what's called our 7-day offer campaign. He launched a thing saying, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Does anyone want to do it? He pre-sold someone into it in 24 hours. Epic, made his money back for the whole program in 24 hours. And then got on a call the other week with him. And I asked him, hey, dude, where you're at? What's going on? He's like, well, I ran my first offer campaign. And then I realized, like I told him, 95% of what I thought their problems are mean nothing. And I actually need to create this offer. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run another offer campaign, and then I'm going to promote the thing that I know that they want. Because now that Robert's worked with people, talked to people, and spent all this time helping solve their problems, he's now worked out, okay, this is the niche that I want to work with, and this is the problem that they need solving, and then this is what I can help them with. But before Robert started, he had fuck all idea about any of that. He just had assumptions. Being in his revenue operations role, I think this is going to be the problem. But by going out there and working with people and running and giving an offer at a discount, or you can work with people for free, or just actually sending a DM to another human being saying, hey, I've been thinking that this might be your problem and this might be something you might need to do. Am I correct here or am I wrong? And they're going to tell you you're somewhat correct, but you're wrong. Just by having these conversations with people, that's what's going to create your offer. And so people spend all this time thinking about their offer, or you go to a barbecue and they'll be like, I've got an app idea. Ideas are worth nothing. The idea itself and the distillation of the idea, right, It comes through talking to people and working with people. And that's why a lot of people ask me, say, Matt, how's your messaging so crystal clear? It speaks to me. I'm like, yeah, it's because I've chatted to like 5,000 people and I work with like 500 people. So I hear like the exact same problems every day. Of course, the messaging is going to be clear. But people try to start their business with an assumption about what other people need based on their perception. And look, you may have previous experience in that industry and you may have spent a lot of time with people, right? So you may have 30% of the textbook, which is great. You're ahead of time. But imagine if you go to the test and you only have 30% of the textbook, you're still going to fail the test. That's why you need to have conversations. And that's why thinking about an offer 6 months is just a waste of fucking time, because it also just stresses you the fuck out, because you're like, why can't I think about the offer? Why can't I pitch to people? I've got all these avatars that I want to speak to. When in reality, it's not your fault. You have no fucking idea. And there's no way to know how to do it. That's why, in the next 6 weeks in our program, in week 3 and then week 6, we're bringing out how to do this, how to do market analysis, how to look at other people that are winning. Because like another common mistake people make is they're like, okay, everybody else is doing this. I got to do something different. Wrong. Find who are the people who are the best. Who are the people are the best in your field? And then be like, cool, what can I steal from what they're doing so I can learn? So a trick to get 40% of the textbook early on is just take someone else's business and just clone theirs and just make it similar to yours. Super simple. They've already got it pre-validated. Stop making these like brand new offers that people just have no fucking idea what you mean. Like if you put something there and you show like your parents or your grandparent, and you're like, what do I do? Read this. Tell me what I do. And if they're like, I don't know, that means your positioning sucks. It's bad. It's got to be crystal clear what you do, how you help, and who you help and what you do. But you can't get there through thinking. It's not a thinking thing. It's an actions thing. And what happens is you start off with this, lumpy piece of coal, and then the only way to turn it into a diamond is through that constant distillation and refinement. That's it. And the constant distillation and refinement of doing the same thing over and over and over again, that is what causes you to create the end product that you have. So Robert is like a very good example of this. Another client in our program, Andrew, he coaches, I think it's managed service provider business owners. And when he jumped in the first call, he said to me, hey, Matt, this is where I'm starting. I've got 350 followers. His content's not that good. His profile's not that good. He's like, but I want to coach these people. I've had tons of experience in the industry. What do I do? And I was like, just start conversations with them. That's it. Yeah, just start chats with them. Offer to do something for them for free. Get on a call with them and just see how you can help them. That's it. He's like, cool. Next week he posted on the leaderboard, hey, Matt, epic. I had 0 meetings last week and now I've got 3 meetings. Fucking sick. And he told me on the group call, yeah, I learned way more from these 3 meetings than I've spent the whole time creating content. And I was like, exactly. And then last week he posted a win on last Friday where he got on a call with someone, provided him a free service, and the person gave him an off-the-cuff testimonial saying it was the most valuable call he's had with an agency in 6 months. In 6 months, because all he did was try to help the person and deliver value. So now what that means is that Andrew, as he builds his product or service, because he spent time with the clients, he knows what the fuck that they actually want. And so he's like, okay, now I can build something. And so what you need to do is the only way to actually find out your niche and what you're going to do is you need to think about, okay, let's say you've spent years in sales and you're like, I'm going to go coach people in accounting. Probably a bad option, right? You just want to look back and be like, what's the experiences that I've had and how can I help someone else? And who's some other people that I like working with and who I think I can potentially help? Okay, let's just reach out to them and just get on calls with them and just see the problems that they need. And then the real trick is when you very, very first start, right, and you come up with your first offer, don't try to sell something that's life-changing. Nobody wants life-changing. If someone says to me, I'm going to change your life, I'll be like, fuck off. I don't want my life changed. If they come to me and they're like, Matt, I'm going to show you how to, I don't know. Matt, I've got a service. This is what I'm thinking about at the moment. Matt, I've got a service where we come into your house and we cook your meals and you tell us the macros and then we do that for $300 a week. And I'd be like, sold. Simple problem solution. Because that frees up my time. But whatever you sell a really simple, easy to do and easy to implement thing. Because the goal of the first offer and the first thing that you do is to get experience working with the person to work out what the fuck you're going to sell and to what niche. And I see this so much and it drives me insane because people spend years thinking about their niche, but all of this time you spend thinking is a waste of time. It's just a massive waste of time. The only thing you can do is actually have action and speak to other humans. So if you could take anything from this podcast, if you've been thinking about an idea, right? Message 10 people who would be your ideal client and just say to them, hey, I've been thinking about this idea to help you because you seem like you're my person I might be able to help. I'm thinking about doing all these things. Just let me know, am I off track? Do you have these problems? Or am I on point here? And they're going to come back to you and be like, yeah, some of this stuff makes sense, but really this is the problem I'm dealing with. And then you're going to come back to them and say, oh, that makes sense. Can you elaborate more on that just so I can get an understanding? And through this conversation, that is going to cause the distillation, which is going to cause your piece of coal to turn into a diamond, or it's going to cause you to finally get access to 100% of the textbook so that you can study, so that when you walk into the meeting or you walk into starting your own business over time, or you walk into launching your big thing, that you know with the highest chance of certainty that it's going to work really well. Because so many people, they spend all this time creating the big thing. And if you can't see me on video, like I'm doing the little quotey things, they try to create their big thing, whether it be a big ebook or whether it be a big lead magnet or my big offer or my big thing, but they don't even talk to people at all. So when they launch it, no one fucking cares because it doesn't solve any of the problems. No one should ever start with a big thing. Start with like the tiniest minute thing, like a 1 hour coaching call. Get on the call and just coach someone for free. Ask their problems, record it, get all of the issues, and then be like, ask them, okay, which one would you want solved? Which one is the most valuable to you? Keep distilling down until you're like, yep, I know exactly how I'm going to help these people. And that's when you can launch your big thing. That's when you can be like, I'm going to launch this big program, this big crazy thing. But please stop wasting 6 months thinking about your niche. And if you're someone who's in a job right now, right, and you're like, Matt, I'm thinking about leaving my job. I don't know what to do. Like I want to start this thing. Don't leave your fucking job. Just launch it on the side. Just spend 1 hour at night just DMing people who you think you want to reach out to, who you want to work with. Get on a couple of calls every week. Just help them for free and work out what's the offer. And then before you leave the job, just pre-sell them, sell them into stuff like coaching or services or whatever it is, right? Help them get outcomes. Keep doing this until you're at the point of potentially replacing your income or you feel comfortable leaving your job. Then leave your job. Don't leave your job and go all in. Bad idea, because you don't even know if it's going to work. And you also don't even know, if you've never been entrepreneurship, if you're going to enjoy it, because it's fucking hard. It's really tough, like being an entrepreneur. And some people go into it and they're like, this sucks. I actually just want a job because I don't want that pressure. And you're fine with it. And some people really like that, and that's totally fine. But don't leave your job. Keep doing the other thing that's working and then switch to the other thing. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this podcast. I know I've gone on a bit of a rant here, but like, I just don't like seeing people waste so much time. If all you're going to do is just DM 10 people and say, is my idea even a good idea? You're my target market. Is it even a good idea? People aren't going to be like, don't fucking talk to me. They're going to respond to you and be like, hey, and they'll have a conversation with you. And then at the end of it, if they're like, yeah, it seems like it could be, say, hey, would you be open to me jumping in a call with you? And I could just spend an hour helping you for free. And they'll be like, fuck yeah. And then you jump on and you help them and you record it. And then you do this 10 times. And then from that, you can develop a validated offer that's 100% validated and you have testimonials. Perfect. Done. Business started. Anyways, guys, I know to me this seems simple, but I know for a lot of people this may be like, wow, this is crazy. But this is what I help creators with in our program. In weeks 3 and week 6, so in 2 weeks and then in 4 weeks in our program, we have specific modules coming out on this about how to identify your competitive landscape, identify your target market, to really distill down what could you potentially solve that's already validated in the market. And then secondly, we're on week 4, so in 4 weeks, we're going to come out how to build your exact offer document, what to say in it, what to write, all that stuff as well. So it's a perfect time to start working together with us as well, as you can roll out and build it. Anyways, guys, peace out. Have a good day. And if you rated this, I'd really appreciate 5 stars. If not, it's all good. Catch you.